It's the New York Yankees against the Oakland Athletics in the third of four between these two teams from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Al Leiter and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yes, everything is good in the Yankee world. They've won 8 in a row. And the reason that they're winning games, they're getting good starting pitching. And Jabba Chamberlain, no different yesterday. Second start since the All-Star break, Al, and he's dealing right now.
He really is. And I think whatever happened when he went back to Nebraska, there's a different mindset against Detroit. Domination last night, early on, aggressive. And he's got that mindset where his velocity again was in that mid-90s, touched a couple in that 96, 97 range, had the excitement of as he once did in the bullpen, fist pump. He's been dominant along, as you say, Michael, with the rest of the starting rotation.
Well, that's what he did against Detroit, Al. 6 2/3, 3 hits and a run. Yesterday against Oakland, 1 more out, 7 innings, 2 hits, and 1 run. Now, when you get good pitching, it takes some of the pressure off the offense as well. They don't feel that they have to score 100 runs. Well, yesterday they did score 8. They did a good job, and right in the middle of it was Melky Cabrera.
Well, Melky Cabrera is one of those guys that is really in a good situation because he kind of flies under the radar of Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. But if you look at big hits throughout the year, Melky Cabrera has got a lot of them. Last night he added 3 hits to his little chart, and I say what, he's had a good, solid year. And again, he's not one of the big name guys, but he's had a really, really good year.
And the amazing thing about him, as Paul said, in late inning pressure situations, he's up around a 400 batting average. Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Gio Gonzalez going to go for the A's 1-2 with a 9.33. Andy Pettit for the Yankees 8-5, 4.62. Now, Andy has a lot to live up to. Why? Because all the starters have been dealing one after the other. They keep throwing big pitches, getting big outs, and nobody wants to break the chain. It's Andy's turn. We'll talk to Al Leiter about that next on Yes. Well, the Yankees will try to make it 9. Saturday afternoon, fans getting some dogs before they go into the game. Just a perfect day for baseball. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Yankees baseball. That's Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Paul O'Neill is eating right now. I promise he will rejoin us in time for the first pitch. Now, speaking of pitching, the Yankee pitching has been a big part of this 8-game winning streak. If you look at what they've done, kind of staggering, and it shows you, Al, that the bottom line, when you win, you've got to get good starting pitching, and the Yankees are doing that.
Well, look right here. Absolutely, Michael. You get, as you just said, good starting pitching. The team's going to be in it. The defense is crisp. This starting rotation since the All-Star break has been stellar. Jabba was great last night. CC the night before. I know as a guy in the starting rotation, you don't want to be the one to drop the ball, so to speak. You keep passing the baton. That's what's been happening. It's very infectious.
And also the bullpen gets some rest, too, because a lot of the starters are going 6 or more innings.
Anytime you get length out of your starters, then the relievers know their role. They're not getting abused, as you say, and they're in much more better health, 100%, if you will, and as a result of that, they're also throwing better.
Should be a good game. Again, the Yankees go for 9 in a row. We come back. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on Yes. The 2009 Honda clearance is here, but it ends soon. Hurry into your Honda dealer today. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Great day for baseball. Andy Pettitte, 37-year-old left-hander, taking his warm-up. So let's take a look at the A's lineup that he's going to face. Bob Guerin made this one out. Adam Kennedy, the third baseman, leads off. Orlando Cabrera at short will bat second. Batting third and playing left field, Scott Hairston. Nomar Garcia-Parra, good numbers lifetime against Pettitte, will DH, he'll clean up. Batting fifth and playing right field, Jack Cuss. Rajai Davis in center field will bat sixth. The number 7 hitter, first baseman Bobby Crosby. Mark Ellis at second base will bat eighth. And batting ninth and catching is Landon Powell.
And on the mound for the Yankees, 37-year-old veteran left-hander Andy Pettitte. Here you see the numbers that he's coming off of. A very good start against the Orioles. The 115 innings, 127 hits. Try to get that to 1-to-1 ratio. Let's take a look at the Chief Pitcher Stat Report. Awesome against the A's. He's 11-5 in 20 career starts, 7-3 with a 2.93 at 10 home starts in New York. Keep it in the park. He's given up 13 home runs. 14 is his high at the old stadium in 1996, and established his fastball. His last start against the Orioles is very good. He ended up getting no decisions. The Hideki Matsui home run walk-off. A lot of fastballs away. By doing that, it really allowed him to come inside.
Stadium filling up. Yankees trying for their 9th in a row, and Andy Pettitte trying for his 9th win. And that would tie CC Sabathia for the most on the team so far this year. Something's loose out in the outfield. I think they're putting the tarp on the mound in the A's bullpen, and also the door is opening up by the A's bullpen. So Brett Gardner doing some housekeeping. While we're waiting, we'll look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 81 degrees, humidity 50%, wind 12 miles per hour, lots of sunshine, and I found this out from Paul. UV index today is 7.
Up to 7?
Yeah,
strong.
Yeah, it's a strong index.
My wife's at the pool, so I better give her a holler to get a little sunscreen.
She better put some SPF 50 on her. All right, we're ready for baseball here in the Bronx. Let's do it as Pettitte deals. It's a strike, and we are underway. Adam Kennedy, 0 for 7 so far in this series, 285 overall. He got picked up off waivers by the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays didn't have room for him on their roster, and the A's snatched him up, and he's played all the time. Fouled away. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Pettitte deals. Spoiled foul.
You'd almost think coming off the waiver wires that Anaheim would be back in the hunt to even bring him back. They've had some problems with Kendrick over the season, not putting up the offensive numbers they expected.
True gamer. Adam Kennedy, a guy that came up with the Cardinals to help the Angels in their World Championship season. Talk around the A's, he's really helping a lot of these young players be more aggressive. The A's have been running more. Very unlike this club. He's come over, as Michael said, he's got 11 stolen bases, second to Rajai Davis.
1-2. Grounded to short. Ransom's there. One away. Take a look at the Yankee defense, which will be behind Andrew Eugene Pettitte. In the outfield, you've got Cabrera in left, Gardner in center, and Swisher over in right. Infield, Rodriguez, Ransom, Cano, and Teixeira. Ransom making his second start at short. DJ's in the lineup today. Jeter is the DH, and Molina behind the plate. Pettitte is on the mound. First mistake in the game by me, Paul. I took a win away from CC Sabathia. He has 10, not 9. So Andy will move within 1 if he can pick up a 3. I know you like to keep track of those things, so there's 1.
When I get those numbers stuck in my head, I'd have been stuck on 9 all day.
Well, unstick it. It's 10. Count 0-1 on Orlando Cabrera. He has a 5-game hitting streak.
And he went through that batting lineup for the Yankees, and the one thing that sticks out is Derek Jeter as a DH. I don't know that I've ever called a game where Derek Jeter's a DH. I'm just wondering what kind of fit that is. I mean, he's so used to playing shortstop every single day.
Nancy.
See that DH right there. You don't see that lineup card very often. So if you get a hold of that in the stands today, you've got something a little not everyday lineup.
2-2. Ransom filling in at short. I'd like to know how your mind works, Paul. First, I'm going to show you the umpires because I know that gets you excited. Sam Holbrook's behind the plate. Dan Iassogna at first. Charlie Relaford is at second. And Larry Vanover is at third as Cabrera fouls it back. Do you feel old or young when you see Andy Pettitte on the mound? Because Andy's the guy you played with, but now Andy's 37. Does it make you feel old or young?
You know, it still makes you feel part of the game in the. You see he's doing the same thing as he did when I saw him when he just came up getting that ground ball out to Cabrera. But again, it makes you still feel part of the game somewhat, because here's a guy that you competed with, a guy you won championships with, and he's still out there doing the same things. And I was just going through some numbers were very interesting to me. You know, when you take away those 3 years that he went to Houston, you know, he's probably, you know, up in Whitey Ford's numbers. You know, Whitey Ford had career 236 wins. He could be the all-time, you know, left-hander with those 3 years, and that just shows you what type of career he has had as a Yankee.
Here's Scott Hairston. Pitches inside.
Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
Those are the career numbers that Paul's talking about. A great ERA. Imagine that, all of his years other than the 3 in Houston in the American League, he's got an under 4 ERA. That tells you something. 223 and 132.
That's unbelievable. Win ratio, win percentage. How about the 22nd round draft pick? First Yankee pitcher to win 200 Major League games.
High fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Swisher. And he runs out of room.
No, it's a big accomplishment, 200 wins. 22nd round. The first Yankee drafted player to win 200 games. Andy Pettitte.
Because Whitey Ford was not drafted.
Right.
You look at some of those draft picks and stuff, and the one that sticks out to me was your ex-catcher with the Mets, Mike Piazza. What was like a 45th or 46th round pick?
I think he was 60.
Or in the 60. It was off the charts, and then here's a guy probably ended up in the Hall of Fame. Numbers were.
How about Donnie?
Mattingly,
the 18th round.
Yeah, he wasn't a #1 pick, that's for sure. See any good curveball there? You see his arm gets around that ball.
It's funny, the crowd thought that it was the end of the inning because the scoreboard had 2 strikes. And the count now 3-2. Hairston this year hitting .361 against left-handed pitching. And Pettitte strikes him out, an impressive first inning for Andy Pettitte as the A's go down in order. 1, 2, 3. And Andy does it with 16 pitches. So it's the Athletics nothing. And the New York Yankees coming to bat. Gonzalez's turn. Let's take a look at the Yankee lineup that he's going to face. As Paul mentioned, the DH is Derek Jeter. Captain leads off. Batting second and playing center field, Brett Gardner. Mark Teixeira, the first baseman, will hit third. Cleaning up and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Nick Swisher's in right field, batting fifth. Batting sixth and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Melky Cabrera, 4 for 5 in the series. He'll be in left field, batting seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Cody Ransom. And Posada gets the day off. And Molina will catch and bat ninth.
Young Gio Gonzalez, 23-year-old left-hander. This will be his 5th start of the year. He had 2 out of the bullpen. 1-2 record, coming off an awful start against Minnesota. Let's take a look at the G pitcher scout report. He's got good stuff. Good, let's see, low 90 fastball with a kind of a backdoor big curveball hook. I found this kind of unusual. Left-handed batters are batting .536. Obviously, lefty on lefty, it should be the opposite. Righties are .330. Number 65 starts this year by a rookie pitcher for the A's. Vin Mazzaro, the Yankees saw in the first game. Brett Anderson yesterday. Throwing these young pitchers.
565 for lefty.
536.
5 something. That's pretty
There's
high.
a 5. That's a struck.
Derek Jeter takes a strike.
Didn't help it. His last start, Justin Morneau hit 2 home runs. And
they gave up 11 runs in 2 2/3 innings against the Twins. Gave up 4 home runs as well. Incredibly enough, the A's didn't win that game, or they didn't lose that game. Neither did Gonzalez. The A's came all the way back, and he became only the second starting pitcher in the modern era, which is since 1900, to avoid a loss in a game in which he pitched fewer than 3 innings and gave up at least 11 runs. Gonzalez fields the Jeter chopper, and there's one away. Let's take a look at the A's defense. In the outfield, it's Hairston, Davis, and Cuss. In the infield, Kennedy, Cabrera, Ellis, and Crosby making his 18th start at first base this year. Landon Powell behind the plate, and Gonzalez is on the mound. The only other pitcher who did that was a gentleman by the name of Scott Feldman in Boston, from Texas, August 12th of 2008. Bob Guerin trying to straighten his team out. They're not playing great baseball of late. They're in last place in the American League West. Brett Gardner, his time has been truncated in the lineup. He's 1 for 9 on this homestand, and it's hard to get him in the lineup because Melky's playing so well, and he's in the lineup today because Johnny Damon getting a rest against the left-hander.
It's funny, Brett Gardner doesn't play last night, but then he's in the lineup today against the lefty. But then it goes back to what your scouting report was. The lefties hitting over 500, so you don't hesitate as a manager to put your lefties in there.
I don't know. Well, maybe you had the scenario as a young player with the Reds, but I think, Michael, part of the success of both Melky and Brett Gardner, both having good years, is the competition.
Popped up, Kennedy gives it a look, but runs out of room.
Obviously, Melky was, 2 years ago, a big part of the starting team, and then last year getting sent down, and maybe that was some degree of motivation to push each other, and now, having them both here, more than capable center fielders, it's been a good push.
Yeah, it's funny. There's certain kids that you could call in the office and say, hey, this job is yours, and they'll relax and they'll play better. And then there's certain guys that pop foul, certain guys that need something to create an edge. And it seems like you're right. This competition has been good, and it started in day 1 of spring training. Because when Melky and Gardner show up to spring training, neither one of those had a guaranteed starting job, and both of them have battled and done good things for the Yankees this year.
Yeah, kind of a I'll show you mentality. Brett Gardner won the starting job out of spring training and pushed Melky.
And the count is full at 3-2. And Gonzalez deals, and he walks. Brett Gardner, that's not what you want to do, so Gardner could be off to the races.
Well, with the left-handed Gonzalez, unless there's some sort of scout report, it'll take a couple pitches at least during this game to see if the good runners can pick some nuance up on the left-hander as far as the pickoff move.
Now, Al mentioned that Gonzalez is the 65th start by a rookie for the A's this year, and 37 of their last 47 games have had a rookie start. And sending a rookie pitcher out to face the Yankees is never really a good bet, so to speak. And I'll explain what I mean, because it's something that Vin Mazzaro said, the starting pitcher on Thursday. He remarked to his teammates, said, I've never seen a team adjust from at bat to at bat. Because in Double-A, where they pitched last year, guys weren't adjusting. You got a guy out with a pitch inside, he's going to get him out in the second and third at bat, the same thing. And these kids are learning at the highest level, and the Yankees are a team that talks constantly. Kevin Long is a hitting coach that's constantly going over from at bat to at bat what to expect. And you see what the Yankees have done to rookie starters this year. 19-7, that's the best record in the American League. It's just a bad match for a young kid.
I think they make pitchers work. It's been noted over the years the Yankees are going to make you throw strikes and make you beat them. And young guys, sometimes can get afraid of the strike zone to the point where they throw too many pitches and dig deeper holes. And the deeper hole you dig against the Yankees, there's no outs, and that's the thing. I mean, there's not that 7, 8, or 9 hitter that you can guarantee to get out of the jam. And that's where you give up the big numbers.
Well, to your point, Michael, and Paul was a part of it during the heyday years of their championships. Yeah, when you have every battle, and it is true battle, however this transpires here, taking pitches, waiting it out, seeing the release point, what's the break of the guy's out pitch, and then having that pitcher go deep in the counts. They can identify pitches, they see movement, and also make him work. And in this day and age of pitch counts, it's a big deal.
Chop to third, Kennedy goes to second one. And a hard slide by Gardner, clean, and Ellis doesn't get off the return throw.
You said it, Michael. It's a clean play. You see Cody or Teixeira grounds this ball here. Probably no chance of a double play, but Gardner knows one way to play, and that's to go hard. And the way you know this is a clean play, you see Ellis's reaction. Never looked at him, never said a word. That shortstop or the second baseman feel like it's a dirty slide. There's usually some words. But you'll see that Gardner went in high, went in hard. Just the way the game's supposed to be played. Went in late, too.
Very late. Dangerous. But he was right at the bag. Didn't go out of his way or out of the baseline in order to get it. Here's A-Rod. Count 1-0. One home run away from tying Harmon Killebrew for 9th on the all-time home run list. Fly ball down the right field line, but that'll slice foul into the seats.
Somewhat, I'm sure, a thrill for Gio Gonzalez. He grew up down in the Miami area at Hialeah High School, facing the great Alex Rodriguez, local Coral Gables star.
First start against the
Brewers.
The Brewers. So like Molitor or
Molitor led off the game.
Is that right? So those are the guys your first time around that you remember. What'd you do?
Molly got a single. I had my first 6 outs were strikeouts.
Really?
We won the game. Yeah. But to your point,
a young phenom out of the gate, wasn't he, Michael?
He was. Swing and a miss. And Rodriguez goes down on strikes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Brett Gardner playing the game hard. He takes out Mark Ellis before he could try to turn the double play. moment from last night's game. And Jorge Posada hits a long home run, which starts really the Yankees breaking open the game. And there was another G aspect to it. Mariano said, gee, I don't have to pitch.
Gee, I'm going back in my little nut.
That made it 5-1, so it was no longer a save situation, and Lowe got the night off. And there's a strike to Nomar Garciaparra. Now 0-1. Garciaparra has the second highest average of an active player against the Yankees, 330. And the first, or the best average against the Yankees is not going to get any better or any worse for an active player, and that's Alex Rodriguez at 334 against the Yankees. There's a ground ball to short. Ransom. One away. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. Dallas Braden will get the start for the A's, 7-8, 3.40, and Sergio Mitre, his second start for the Yanks, 1-0 in one game. And our coverage begins at noon with the BP show. Chris Sheeran do the honors. 12:30 is the pregame show, and about 1:07 first pitch. Jack Cust takes a strike. Cust struck out 3 times yesterday, a couple of them on fastballs right down the middle. So obviously he's guessing up there. And with 2 strikes, it's dangerous to guess. You can get embarrassed if you get a fastball down the middle.
You get to walk back to the dugout every once in a while. That's all.
3 of them, Michael.
He looked at the 3 fastballs?
3,
Okay.
2 strikes. Which, you know, as a pitcher, you say, okay, this guy's sitting on pitches. Some guys will sit on pitches for an at-bat and then change their approach. But I got to believe with that last night, that Cust was looking all speed the whole night.
But don't you have to change your approach, Paul, with 2 strikes? You can't guess on 2 strikes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this day and age is a little bit different because guys still, you know, hit home runs with 2 strikes. But in the old days, you know, 2 strikes, your only job as a hitter was to put the ball in play somewhere. Make the defense work. Don't give them outs. You know, this day and age of baseball where home runs and run scoring is so important that, you know, guys don't cut down their swings very much.
Strike 3, Cust down looking. Another fastball.
That's paint right there, Mike. The other looking fastballs were more meat of the plate. Good major league hitters will swing at a pitch knowing that it's on the plate. That ball's down and away, just a perfect. Watch this location of this. Ooh, maybe a little off.
Little. Come on now, our bats are only 34 inches long, or 35 at the most, you know. That's a pitcher's view. They're just a little outside where, you know, it seems like it's in the other dugout for a hitter.
Andy is dealing over the first 2 innings. Deals a strike to Rajai Davis. And that one's popped up. Robinson Cano is there, and he'll make the play. Andy must have early dinner reservations in the city because he is bowing down the A's. 6 up, 6 down, and we go to the bottom of the second. No score. And now fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer who watches Yes, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. Kind of a hot, humid day here in New York City. And Andy Pettit is taking advantage of it. He's loose, throwing strikes, working quickly. And 6 up, 6 down for Andy against the A's. Gio Gonzalez now starts the bottom of the second inning. And he will face Nick Swisher, Robinson Cano, and Melky Cabrera.
Two guys traded for each other, Michael. Nick Swisher going from Oakland to the White Sox for Gio Gonzalez. How about Gio Gonzalez? He's 23 years old. He's been traded 3 times. White Sox to the Phillies for Jim Thome. Then back to the White Sox for Freddie Garcia. Then on to Oakland for Nick Swisher. Well, that's good or bad.
Yeah, you start wondering after a while, maybe once, twice. You get traded a few times, you wonder, it must be really good or really bad. And then you try to figure it out yourself.
Well, he shows the style. I can see why clubs like him. He's got left-handed plus arm. And everybody knows, lefties, if you can harness a left-hander with a good fastball, you can teach him how to pitch. Kurt Young, left-hander.
Boy, he was no fun to face. His ball moved all over the place.
The 1-2. 2-2. Nick is 3 for his last 19. He averaged 233 now, but continues to be productive with 50 runs batted in. This is not the Yankees' A lineup today, as a lot of people are getting rest. On a drive into right field, and Cust made it adventurous but put it away. 1 down. Johnny Damon's out of the lineup. Jorge Posada, Hideki Matsui, and you see Cust make that catch.
You really can't talk from experience. I know in the old stadium, day games, every once in a while you kind of lose that ball in the white shirts. And, this stadium's a little farther back. I don't know if you get the same view as an outfielder, in a day game. You a day game or night game? No?
I like night games.
Yeah, I always loved the night baseball. Seemed like there was a little more exciting, but this brings you back to, where baseball started with no lights, right?
What was it like?
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people came up to me about 61 last night. We talked about it. I was a little confused, a little off my game last night. Michael hung me out to dry.
Now, wait a minute. The only person who really aired you out is the only one you care about. Neville just went upside your head with 61.
What are you, crazy? 61? You weren't even born. I was just rambling through all the Yankee movies. There it is, see? I was looking at that. Smolin was in my ear. And just throwing that number at it. I mean, it just kind of slipped out there.
Oh, Billy Crystal liked it. Revisited the movie. Great Yankee year.
Another thing about being part of the Yankees, I mean, if you're with other organizations, I mean, there's not movies about all these other teams. You got so many things going on with the Yankees and tradition.
And if you had stayed with the Reds, I mean, this is just a guess. I'm assuming you're not getting a guest spot on Seinfeld.
No. I'd be up in the booth with, like, Marty Brenneman right now instead of Michael Kay, too. It'd be terrible, right?
That would have been the worst part, yeah.
Look at Gino over there. I'd have never known Gino. Look at Gino in the shades, huh? We talked about Gino last night when he got his head shaved for, what, a 5-game winning streak?
5-game winning streak.
So, like, if that bet was going on right now, Gino would be bald. Huh?
He'd be heading toward his second haircut. They're at 8 in a row. Time now for the Toyota Text Poll. Today's question is, which of these individual plays do you think is the signature moment of Derek Jeter's career? You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here are the choices. The Subway Series home run. Al remembers that. I think it was against him. The John Filippelli play against Oakland. That's number 2. The flip play. Number 3 is Mr. November, the home run in 2001, and then the diving catch against Boston in 2004.
And you can only vote for one? That's a tough one.
You can vote as many times as you want. I think the signature play has to be, I wonder if Mr. Jeter will go. Dr. Jeter, I'm sorry.
It's got to be the play going in the stands.
I think the play in the stands keeps.
But then the importance of the flip play, that's why I'm saying, too, I mean, the importance of the flip play, I mean, at that time, but, you know, just his personality, I think that came out in the Boston play. So.
And then missed a November home run, won a World Series game, which isn't too bad.
It's a good question. Answer.
Cabrera right back to Gio Gonzalez, and the Yankees go down 1-2-3. Brett Gardner walked, and that's really the only guy who's gotten on base. We go through 3 now, and it's no score. Well, we go to the 3rd inning. And on the Modell scoreboard, there's no score. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. And the pitch is outside to Bobby Crosby. Bobby Crosby looked like he could be the shortstop here for the next 10 years, but injuries, and A's end up signing Orlando Cabrera, and Bobby's now playing first base, playing all around. But it's amazing the difference in how a player ends up according to how his body holds up. And Bobby Crosby had hurt a lot.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah. And 04. What was your worst injury, Paul?
I had thumb surgery diving for a ball. You know, you break a thumb, and it really doesn't hurt that much, but it requires surgery, so it's time. You know, it's 8 to 10 weeks, and then, you know, your hand's weak, and you feel like you can play, and you have no bat speed. So looking back, that probably shut me down the longest.
And Al, you were on the DL, what, 17, 18 times?
That's funny, Mike.
Crosby down on strike. That wasn't funny at the time because you ended up having a great career, but the first 5 years of your career, you were on a DL most of the time.
Had 2 shoulder operations from 23 to 25. I thought I was done.
You started taking college courses, right?
I did. I finished.
He did.
Just a case?
He did.
Oh, finished online, Penn State.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Nittany Lion. Line drive to Cody Ransom, and Mark Ellis is out.
Really? Part of the Happy Valley thing there?
He actually was part of the Penn State football team online. Never played, but Paterno put him on the team online.
You and Joe Paul still emailed each other?
So did you know that Al and Kim Jones have something in common because she's a Penn State alum?
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's why I come here, Michael. I learned so many things. We're in the 3rd inning, and I've learned so much already.
And Sweeney Murdy of WFAN, also a Penn State alum. And Greg Buttle of 1050 ESPN Radio, also a Penn State alum. Giving everybody plugs. Pitch to Landon Powell is a strike.
Now tell me something the other day. You had Notre Dame football in here the other day.
Right.
And I had to text you because I had to go Bucks. Now, behind the scenes, how was that received?
He thought it was funny. He was fine with it. I mean, you can tell him now he watches every Yankee game.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's awesome and where he is in the tradition of Notre Dame. But, you know, and I tell you what, years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, the Buckeyes and Notre Dame used to play. And there's nothing more cool than watching those two teams run out on the field with the gold helmets and the silver helmets at the Horseshoe, of course.
And we're talking about Charlie Wise, who was up here the other day, the head coach of Notre Dame. The 2-1 is grounded to short. Cody Ransom's there, and Andy Pettit is perfect through 3. 9 up and 9 down. Now it's time to go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. There's no score here at the stadium right here on Yes. Brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Paul used to do similar things when I wrote for the newspaper.
That's right.
Modell's scoreboard, no score. Now Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. It's a good-looking lid.
That sunscreen. What'd you say? It was 7? The UV?
UV is 7. I think we're going to put that in on weather conditions every day because of Paul.
Very important.
Yeah, because the people that are sitting indoors watching TV really need to know what the UV
you know what, though?
is.
Just think how consistent the night games will be. The UV index will be 0. It's just a given, right?
The new online. They're watching at the beach right now.
Excellent point, Al.
There
Excellent
you go.
point. Tying it all together. Here's Cody Ransom. Line drive on one hop. Nice play by Cabrera. And Ransom is out, 1 away. This chiropractic telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Here's Jose Molina. Yankees in the 9th game of what will be a 10-game homestand. And it's been all good. 8 wins in a row for the Yanks, and they have the 2nd best record in baseball behind the Dodgers. There's a strike.
You look at the Athletics out on the field, and we talked about, they're having a down year. They got rid of Holiday yesterday. And, this is a franchise that have had good teams. I mean, it wasn't too long ago the Yankees were playing in the playoffs.
Hard line drive right to Cabrera.
And, thinking about Ricky Henderson tomorrow going into the Hall of Fame. Here's a guy who played for the Athletics, played for the Yankees. See, Molina hits the ball hard. Got a bad aim on it, but hits the ball hard. I mean, Billy Martin, both organizations. Reggie Jackson, both organizations. Catfish Hunter.
Yep.
Bob Guerin.
Bob Guerin. Absolutely.
People don't even realize this because they so identify him with the Yankees. But Joe DiMaggio was actually a coach with the Oakland A's.
Wow.
Were you a fan of the A's back in like the 70s when they were winning World Series?
I was only a fan of the Yankees.
In the Midwest, and I'll tell you why.
That one is lined out to right field. And Cust is there, and we're going to have to save that thought in the Midwest and why they were fans of the A's. So, boy, if you needed a reason to stay tuned, now you have another one.
Does that mean I got to stay, too?
You got to stay, yeah. State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Brett Gardner had the last inside the park home run for the Yankees. Tell me which player had the last inside the park home run for the Athletics. All right, Paul, what about Midwest people with the A's?
Well, I was just going back because I was a little kid and I was playing on a little league team that were the A's. And the reason that it was so cool was because we just, back in 72, 73, when the A's were real good, is right when, I remember getting our first color TV. And watching these guys, they'd switch uniforms every game. They had white shoes, which nobody else had. They had all kind of gimmicks in their uniform. They had mustache, all kind of neat things when you were a little kid watching baseball. So that's why I was kind of a fan. Other than they were beating the Reds at the time during the big red machine era. But, on color TV, when you're not used to it, it was kind of a neat thing.
It's amazing how time has changed.
Isn't it?
You were celebrating.
We're in high def now.
Now you got 100-inch high defer.
Even behind me in the booth here. You guys think I'm zoning out. I'm really watching this on the big screen behind us. It's kind of neat.
He loves
See that?
He loves that
it's
logo.
Much better than looking at Michael Cater in the game, believe me. I keep looking left. Al thinks I'm seeing something bad on it.
And there's the first base hit for the A's as Orlando Cabrera punches one out in the right field. So it was 10 in a row for Andy Pettitte before that single by the A's shortstop.
We've gone over Cabrera, and he's been as hot as any hitter in the American League, and he continues to have good at-bats. I thought last night he might have had a little knee problem, but he's a good, solid player. Another guy, now you mentioned it last night, that could help another organization that's looking for a top-ranked shortstop.
Well, we touched on it a little bit about the A's. Here's a team obviously not going anywhere. Matt Holliday being traded to St. Louis. How about that? He goes 4 for 5 yesterday. Protection for Albert Pujols. But yes, Cabrera is a guy, veteran guy, good player. I think Seattle's looking for a shortstop. Twins. He'd be a good guy.
And he's
had
been
a little
with,
knee trouble.
Yeah, he has been with winning organizations in the past too, with Boston and Anaheim. So he's been through the run. So that he's got a background where he has played in those type of games.
The irony there, he was in the complicated 3-team trade, traded for Nomar in a circuitous route that went to the Red Sox. They won their first championship in many years in 04.
The 0-1. 1-1.
It's got to be hard. The A's, they were very good, and it was really about their pitching. And I think maybe the fact that they estimate a little bit more. They've had some injury. Justin Ducher is a really good front-end guy who may come back this year. Ended up getting hurt. Danny Evelyn.
look at all the really unbelievable pitchers they traded. Rich Hart, Tim Hudson. I mean, all of Barry Zito left as a free agent. I mean, they really got a lot.
Danny Herron.
Yeah, Danny Herron.
I mean, you look at the last playoff that we had. You know, that when we were in, you had Mulder, Zito, Hudson. I mean, those were front. Probably, you know, 3 of the top 5 or 6 pitchers in the league. So they, I mean, they were throwing good guys at you day in and day out.
Well, one thing that's aggravating the A's is that, you know, they get their team together and you see where they are right now, 17 games back. At a certain point, they got to get rid of the players because they can't pay them. And Lou Wolf is the owner of the A's, 72 years old, and the Fremont, California deal is done now to build a new stadium. They're going to try to go to San Jose. That's where they want to go. Grounded foul, and what Lou Wolf said, again, he's 72, he said, I want to walk into that stadium. I don't want to be carried in. And he said he's got to get it done by 2013 because he thinks that the talent they have now, the young pitchers they have now, are going to be outstanding. He wants to be able to keep them. And if they stay in Oakland and they stay in that ballpark, they're going to have to do the same thing again, trade them in their 5th year right before they become free agents. They don't want to keep doing it.
Well, the same things happen now, and finally the Florida Marlins could have something to look forward to, but it's the same thing. Low revenue, purse string kind of revenue for the payroll, but now they have light at the end of the tunnel with this new stadium that's going to be built in Miami. It's the same scenario here with the Athletics. They need a new stadium, they know it, but there's a rights issue because San Jose is under the rights of the San Francisco Giants, and this has to be worked out with the commissioner's office.
You know what I don't understand with that, though? That's such a silly thing. I mean, they can't be any closer than they are to San Francisco right now. I mean, they're what? They're 15 minutes away from the San Francisco ballpark. So let them move where they want if it could be better for baseball.
It happened the same thing with Peter Angelos and the Orioles when the Nationals were the excellent.
But that's different because there was no Nationals. I mean, the A's are right next to the Giants anyway, so let them go somewhere else that you can make them a better team and make more money. As Hairston goes down swinging.
It'll be worked out.
Again, I think Andy Pettit, if you watch him his last couple of starts, he's getting back to throwing that cutter and that curveball down and into righties. I think he got away from that, you know, for a while, and all of a sudden, I mean, that's his dominant thing. And Alan, do you ever look back at a time where you got away from your bread and butter, and then you realize that, hey, you know, I got to get back to what I used to do, and things just start running a little more smooth?
Yes, no question about it. And what happens as a pitcher, during the course of the year, you try to make the adjustments based on your last start, how you feel. You know, Andy's evolved from basically he was a fastball cutter kind of pitcher for many years. Then when your velocity gets a little bit slower, you try to turn it over, two-seam, throw more changeups, expand both inside and out. And yeah, sometimes you forget. You say, wait a minute, what did I do? What was I doing to be successful? And for Andy, as a left-hander, when he established his fastball, any pitcher's got to establish your fastball. I don't care if you throw 89, 88, or 95. Fastball early, which to me it's on his arm side, fastball away to the righty, and then that makes that slider, just what he just struck out Scott Hairston, just buried down and in. So he's got the scissor effect of the one going away and inside. It's probably the same thing as a hitter. You know, you get in the funk, and all of a sudden you're trying so many different things.
Well, you do get in some funks too, don't you, Michael? Huh?
I don't. I know you did.
A little low for 20, put you right where you need to be, right?
And then I would remind you of it.
Yeah, that was always real nice.
Michael, you played Little League, didn't you?
Oh yeah, it was great. That's why I'm up here.
He was a stud. I went through the old archives to see if I could pull Michael up. Didn't find him in the starting lineup.
I was in the starting lineup, just low in the lineup. Played first base. Could pick it.
Really?
Oh yeah. That one's lined down the right field line. Unfortunately, you don't have a scouting report on me, Paul, but you have one on Nomar, don't you?
Well, I mean, Nomar Garciaparra is such an interesting lifetime career. I mean, he's a .329. He used to be a Yankee killer when he was with Boston. I mean, past star. I mean, here's a 2-time batting champion, 6-time All-Star. The only problem is in his career, I mean, it's been 14 trips in his career to the disabled list. And you know, you look back at when he started, he was one of the Magic 3 shortstops. A-Rod, Jeep, Garciaparra.
And only one remains standing at short. That's Derek Jeter. Today he's a DH as Garciaparra goes down swinging. So the A's finally get a base runner and a hit, but Andy keeps him off the board as we go to the bottom of the 4th. No score. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Brett Gardner had the last inside the park home run for the Yankees. Which player had the last inside the park home run for the A's? And the answer is... How about that? Nick Swisher. June 11th of 06. And he did it against the Yanks. Brett Gardner will lead off. And Gonzalez deals outside. 1-0. Now the Yankees are getting to the second time around against Gonzalez. And we mentioned earlier how the rookie pitchers say, wow, they make adjustments from at bat to at bat. Let's see if the Yankees have picked something up against Gonzalez. Count 2-0. Brett Gardner, the only Yankee to get on base. He walked. Now Teixeira forced him at second, so he was on base, but earned his way on. As Gonzalez is pitching a no-hitter against the Yankees. You know, we mentioned Swisher's inside the Parker, and here it is.
With hair.
A lot more. Now Nick would probably say that was Swishalicious. Hot shot to second, Mark Ellis. And there's one away.
Like Shea Stadium today, the old Shea Stadium with the planes flying over. It's had a little different traffic pattern today. I like that.
Yeah, there have been a lot more planes flying over here lately.
Right. Maybe the pilots just want to look at new Yankee Stadium.
Could be. Because you feel safe when pilots go out of the way just to sightsee.
That's right. Especially when they're all waiting in a line to go over the stadium, huh?
The 1-0. There's a strike.
They charge extra for that, don't they?
And out of your right, that's Yankee Stadium.
Grounded softly at the third baseline foul. You got big plans tonight, Paul?
Oh,
really?
Day game?
Really?
Right. Frankie's birthday. I told you this. Frankie. Everybody's got a Frankie in New York.
This is your Frankie?
It is Frankie. Frankie's birthday tonight. He's 50. I'm not going to Chili's, and I'm not going to Two People Chili's. $20.
$20 is a nice positive.
Chili's is a good little hangout, but not for a 50th birthday party for Frankie. You know.
As Teixeira swings and misses.
You've been to 42 in White Plains?
Where's that?
42.
Oh yeah.
Great restaurant. We'll be there tonight. Birthday party and all.
So you got everybody stop by. Paul's going to be signing autographs at the table.
No. Frankie's home. Frankie's family will be there. The place will be packed. So Anthony, if you're listening, he's the chef there. We're coming in.
That's a great view too. It's a great bar scene.
Beautiful.
You ever been there, Al? Nice.
Nope.
Very nice.
What's White Plains? Probably 25 miles from the city.
Yeah.
And on a good night,
you can see
look. Yeah, you can see Manhattan 25, 30 miles away. Pretty neat. You don't get that skyline in Cincinnati, Ohio. You know, that's why we enjoy these things. How about you, Michael? I guarantee you got something, right?
I'm just going to pack for the road trip, Paul.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
Al, I guarantee you got it all on the burner too.
It's a little date with Mama.
What happens with the kids?
It's hard to have a date with your wife when you have kids. This is a special one.
So who's watching the kids?
You, Michael. Huh? He hadn't thrown that out yet. In about the seventh inning, that's going to be the text poll. Who's babysitting Al's kids tonight? Michael, or Mr. K?
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on Alex Rodriguez. And Gio Gonzalez looks very, very good over the first 4 innings. He is really pitching well as he retires the Yankees in order 1, 2, 3. They still do not have a hit against the A's left-hander. We go to the 5th. Fifth inning here, and both pitchers are pitching very well on the Lexus scoreboard. There's no score, just one hit in the game, and that's Orlando Cabrera's single in the fourth inning. Here's Jack Cuss, and he's trying to untie with that swing, but he swings and misses. 0-1.
Well, that's been Andy Pettit's MO. 11 of his 14 batters he's faced has been first pitch strikes.
He has 51 pitches, one pitch into the fifth inning. Chop toward Andy, first base side, and that's a nice play by Andy Pettit. Not easy, one away, because he didn't have a great angle to make the throw to Teixeira.
It looked like he was going to take the tag or try to tag. Immediately jumps off the mound, is able to get a nice little hop. Thought he could tag him. Cuss trying to elude the tag. Nice play.
You take it for granted the pitchers should make this play, but going back to last night, Brett Anderson, there was a couple times where he didn't get to the bag, didn't make the throw, and I mean it cost him a couple hits and probably a couple runs. So fielding your position as a pitcher obviously can help.
Well, there was one of the plays where Orlando Cabrera ended up throwing it. It ended up hitting Johnny Damon. It was a 3-6-1 double play, which I think is one of the hardest plays in baseball, certainly for the pitcher to get over there.
There's Brett Anderson from last night. And a push bunt off the mound quickly is Pettit, and another nice play.
That's a highlight reel right there. I mean, that's a great play. Get off the mound, especially as a left-hander, you have a tendency to kind of fall away. Bare-handed little flip.
Watch it. Left-hander normally follows through to the right side, third base side, but Andy's pretty square the whole play, giving him a better shot at busting over there. Nice play. A little slide.
Andy's just showing off now.
I think today's like a family day or something for the Yankees. After the game or something, some of the kids are coming. So he's showing off for his kids here.
Here's Bobby Crosby. And the count 1-0. Bobby struck out in the third inning.
Are you aware of when you quick inning pitcher, 2 pitches out, 1 pitch out, 3 pitches? Now you're the third batter with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's almost.
You're gonna take automatic.
You have to take.
Because I know as a pitcher, you're thinking, hey, I got a free strike
right
here.
And it used to make you mad, especially if you knew, it was a guy that you didn't want to get behind in the count where they had a good fork ball or split that, there was a strikeout pitcher. The last thing you want to do is just give the strike right down the middle, but it's almost an unwritten rule that you can't let them have a 3-4 pinch hit.
Count 2-2.
That's a pitch right there. Andy should take advantage of. A little expanded on the outside corner. Sam Holbrook, home plate umpire, maybe giving the outside corner.
Again, even if you miss with that pitch, that's that cutter down and in. It just sets up so many pitches for him. And his last couple of starts, it looks like he's really getting back to trying to bury that cutter in, right?
Well, it's got a piece to stay alive, did Crosby. And the 3-2. Punched out right side and passed a diving Cano into right field. Second base hit of the game, both by the A's. A 2-out single by Bobby Crosby.
Every once in a while, as a pitcher out, you just got to say, hey, wow, I pitched this guy great, and he had a great at bat, and then he shot one through the hole, and then what else can I do?
Good shot there to show where Robinson Cano was playing pull. And that's part of the scout report. Andy Pettit's a guy known that he's going to bury guys in on the right-handed batters inside. Robbie playing a little more pinch up to second base, middle.
Keeping Crosby close. Missed outside, 1-0. Andy's fastball today right around 89 to 91. plenty enough to get it done. He's become a much better pitcher than when he threw harder, and you have to do that. Pitches more now. You know, the old saying in life is youth is wasted on the young. Al, you ever think how your career would have been different if you knew how to pitch when you were throwing 98 miles an hour?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. When as you're describing with Andy Pettit, any veteran pitcher, you become more understanding of what your stuff is on that given day. And it's really a lot of fun when you have a game like today where your stuff, location-wise, your command, you're not missing your spots, you're in good sync with your catcher, and you're using all your pitches. These games are every bit as satisfying as to when you were dominating stuff-wise. Because a lot of times when you're a young pitcher and you're dominating with just sheer stuff, velocity, just dominating the hitters, you guys don't even really know what they're doing and how they're doing it, because it's much reliant on just throwing the ball. I think it takes a while. I don't know how you were, Paul, as a hitter, but it takes a while for a pitcher to really know what the batter's doing, where the path of the swing. Is he late? Is he opening up? Does it look like he wants the ball in? Is he a guess hitter? Is he a first ball hitter? Does he like the breaking ball?
There's a lot of things going through your mind there, huh?
The 1-2, and that one is chopped back over the mound. Robinson Cano is there. He steps on the bag, and that's going to do it here in the fifth. So the A's don't score, and Andy Pettit had a lot to do with it. First of all, with his pitching, and second of all, with his defense. Nice play on Jack Cusk, and Andy is definitely showing some leather and grace on a push bunt here, a little flip throw, and we're halfway through. Sippy cup. Break time. Time for a fresh brewed cup of coffee at Yes. We get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. WB Mason. Who but?
Sugar.
Paul, you didn't bring your sippy cup this this trip. Nick Swisher leads off. The Lexus scoreboard no score. And the pitch outside 1-0. High fly ball left field. Hairston puts it away. And there's one down. This week marked the Yankees' first ever Hope Week, a unique week-long community initiative to help others persevere and excel. Each day, Yankee players reached out to inspirational individuals, families, and organizations. Daily celebrations culminated at Yankee Stadium, and outreach often took place away from the ballpark. A great job by everybody involved. For more information on what Hope Week was, please visit Yankees.com. Get involved, give hope. I hope this becomes an annual thing because the players got involved, the entire organization got involved, and for a week, you just made people happy, people that were a little less fortunate. And I think that's a wonderful thing that the team did.
It's funny how so many things come the players' way and what they should do, and some of the things come and you're like, sure, I'll be part of it. And then I think at the end of it, you realize that the players enjoyed this also. And it, Michael, I know you brought it up before the air yesterday on how, what a neat thing it was. And it's good to see good stories away from the field at times, especially in sports these days.
Slow ground ball to second base off the bat of Cano. Well, they had Camp Sun down here, the people that are allergic to sunlight and they can only go out at night. And that was a long rain delay out on Thursday, 2 hours and 46 minutes. It was start. The game ended about 1 o'clock. So they had like a carnival in the outfield, and some of the players went out there, and they could not get A.J. Burnett to leave. He stayed almost the entire night interacting with everybody. And I think that the players really realize what they mean to people, and people that are less fortunate. Beautiful bunt by Melky Cabrera. And the Yankees have their first hit. And Gonzalez might be hurt. He's limping right now. He might have twisted an ankle.
You go over things, and you're right, Michael. Either strained his knee or his ankle, and we'll see on this replay.
Perfect. Adam Kennedy playing back.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle. And I'll tell you what, in the old days, it was really kind of a weird thing, and I don't know if this would bother you as a pitcher, but your first hit of the game, especially middle of the game, it being a bunt, does that bug you at all?
In a no-hitter?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This was always kind of a weird thing, to get your first hit in the middle of the game with a bunt. But this is a 0-0 game. Melky Cabrera's puts down a beautiful bunt, ends up being the Yankees' first hit.
Well, we talked about it last night with Brett Anderson, who actually pitched better than his line score. He ended up going into the 7th, 4 runs. But you mentioned it, Paul, that there was several hits and things going on behind him that could result in frustration, and as a result of that, you leave a pitch up and the guy will then drive it.
I think it would be a lot more egregious, Paul, if the Yankees were down 5-0 or 6-0 and the first hit was bunt. But since it's a scoreless game, I think it takes a little of the edge off of it. But we'll see how Gonzalez feels about it. Here's Cody Ransom. Pitch outside. Also, Gonzalez is a kid. I think a veteran would feel a little bit differently, or be able to express it a bit differently.
But didn't that happen a couple years ago? But it was later in the game. In Texas, somebody bunted. Broke up a no-hitter.
That one's popped up shallow right. Ellis out. Coming on is Cust, and he makes the play for the final out of the 5th. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We played 5 full at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It took just 8 pitches to retire the Yankees in the 5th. We go to the 6th with a scoreless tie. brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Pretty good seats there. I'm watching a pretty good game as we go to the 6th inning. 0-0. Landon Powell steps in against Andy Pettit. And there's a strike. 63rd pitch for Pettit as we enter the 6th inning, so extremely economical. And a strike.
You see curveball, then you see fastball. This is one of those days, Al, and I'm sure you can remember where you just step on the mound and you know you've got 3 or 4 pitches you can throw them all for strikes. And there's not. This isn't a given thing for a pitcher to be able to have this good of stuff in this good a location.
And as a game like this goes, Paul, the confidence elevates. Andy, career-wise, 11-5 with a 3.24, 20 career starts, 7-3 here in New York. So there's also the element of certain teams, for whatever reason you can't explain, you dominate. I don't know whether it's a uniform, really, because over the years, over 20 starts, obviously that's amassed probably 10 years. You're not facing, obviously, the same players.
Swing and a miss, and Powell down on strikes. Andy has that pitch diving down and into the right-handers.
This is a slider. That fastball away, slider down in combination. And what makes it so hard to hit for Major League hitters is when the slider's thrown properly, hitters don't see a dot. When the ball is thrown, a slider will have like a little football spin to it, and they pick up the dot early, recognize it as a slider. He's got a tight one. It looks like a fastball, and it just drops off. Picking it up, hopefully.
I mean, he's
99-1.
Absolutely, just playing with everything he has. So in the hitter's mind, I mean, there's nothing you can sit on because he's throwing strikes with everything. Got that ball up a little bit.
Up to center field. Gardner drifts back. 2 outs. 6 strikeouts for Andy Pettit. Let's take a look at all of them.
Well, we've been talking about this dominating performance with the hard cutter slider down into the righty. That's his paint fastball to Jack Cuss on the outside corner. Really, this late breaking slider has been his pitch today. Elevated high fastball at Nomar. There it is again with Landon Powell. Good stuff.
Al, is that more slider than cutter today?
I see more of a slider break, and it's mostly the depth of the break, and also it goes down and in as opposed to, say, to the hands on the righty, and it's shorter. Cutters are shorter and more flat, and the slider's got that, well, in the case as a left-hander, it'd be like 11 to 4 o'clock on the hands of the clock.
So the cutter's almost just moving left to right on a plane, and the slider is going diagonal.
His natural fastball, as mine was too, is that the ball just cuts a little. You know, you hold how it just comes out of your hand. It's usually because the hand is off to the side. So what he calls as his four-seamer is actually a little bit of a cutter.
1-2. Foul back to the screen.
So even there, if the flight, obviously the camera angle here is a little bit left center, but that ball is looking like it's further off the plate, and that just cuts a little bit. See where Molina's set up, and then it comes out of the hand, that ball, just slight little cut back to the plate. And he drops a big, slow 76-mile-an-hour curveball. The speed variation and the late movement. It's a good ball game.
He swings and misses. And another strong inning for Andy Pettit as he retires the A's in order 1-2-3, picking up 2 more strikeouts. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Each team looking for a run. Why? Because there's no score. The text poll, once again, the question, which of these individual plays do you think is the signature moment of Derek Jeter's career? You've been texting us at 58772. And here are the results. The diving play against the Red Sox, 54%. Then the flip is second, Mr. November 3rd. Subway Series home run against Al Leiter is fourth. And the pitch to Molina is a strike. You still think about that home run when you go to bed, Al? Look, he's twitching right now, Paul. Check him out.
You know, sports are funny because for everything that happens in sports, somebody loves it and somebody hates it.
Al hated it.
He hated it. I loved it. I'm high-fiving the guy all the way in the dugout.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
And it's funny the way you well, let's take a look at the dive play. Comes up bloodied and beaten. Yankees ended up winning that game, and that was the game that kind of spurred the A's on to trade Nomar Garciaparra, because Nomar was hurt and never got off the bench, and it was against the Red Sox, obviously, and the Red Sox ended up trading Nomar. What was the pitch that Derek hit for the home run?
Changeup.
He never threw a changeup.
Exactly.
You get beat with a changeup.
I'm still kicking myself.
Well, you deserve to give up a home run throwing him a changeup. Golly.
And I think it might have been first pitch.
Oh. Unfortunately, our booth camera was not on, but Al just hit Paul.
Man, slugging me like I'm a rag doll over here.
The 1-2. Did Piazza call for the changeup?
Did you call your own game or Piazza called?
Yeah. I used to wipe. Yeah, it's subtract. Real complicated.
So you wiped to a changeup?
No.
Look, Paul can't believe that.
I'm all confused up here, man. You guys deserve it. You're right. This thing. All I know is at the end of that pitch, it was 1-0 for the good guys, huh?
Does Derek ever talk to you about it, Al?
No, Derek.
Like, why would you throw a changeup, Al?
Nope.
Do you wonder why he was he sitting change?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's why Al's got to be kicking himself. A first pitch changeup is almost like you haven't seen a fastball, so it's almost just like a
bad fastball.
Just a bad fastball. You haven't gauged anything yet.
Which is what it was.
See that?
Just a meatball. He actually got a base hit it that year in the All-Star game. He got a base hit up the middle, MVP of the All-Star game in Atlanta. Off of me. Amazing, that guy's career.
And that's strike three, and Molina doesn't think so.
And that's a 3-2 breaking ball back door. And, of course, you don't see catchers argue very much because you got two good pitchers going at it today as far as stuff-wise. And look at this. You know, that's one of those curveballs as a hitter. You'll see it probably in the hitting zone. Catches the corner at the end. Al's ringing him up. I'm saying it was probably a ball in the hitting area.
Probably. Did you just see that? That's right over home plate.
Give me that overhead look again. I'm going to show you what happens as a hitter.
You give up on it.
Yeah, you give up on it because it's a ball and you can hit it. See? That ball is in the hitting zone there.
Right there.
But see out here where they're calling it's a ball. Either way, it's strike three and a 3-2 curveball. I tell you, this isn't the same guy that came into the game with a 9 ERA. You know, he's very comfortable throwing the ball in and out, big curveball.
Well, you're saying the hitting zone is ahead of the plate, though. I mean, it did look like it nipped the outside corner once across the plate.
Well, the hitting zone, I mean, you don't hit the ball back at the plate as a hitter. You have to hit the ball out front.
But the umpire's calling it where it crosses the plate.
They're calling it where they see the ball out in front of the plate, not where the catcher catches it.
Well, I'm not saying where he catches it, but like right where home plate is. Yeah,
but I mean, that's why if they caught it where the glove, where it caught the ball, I mean, you'd call it every time where the catcher moved his.
Well, they're calling it here, right?
No, the umpire's view has got to be out of here. See that? You can't wait for the ball to cross the plate and then make up your decision.
Now, why are you laughing, Al?
I just don't understand.
What?
In tears over here, man.
What, you don't understand me or O'Neill?
No, Paul, I don't. Sure. What do you mean?
But the home plate is the area where they have to call the strike. That's where it is. I mean, he can't be thinking where it is in front of the plate.
No way.
You're saying he's got to be calling it
No,
where it
I'm
is
not
here?
saying out there, Mike. You're halfway to the pitcher's mound. I'm saying right out here in front of the plate, he's going to have to make a decision. And if that ball is here, but it cuts in to the plate, they call it. And there's a lot of times as a hitter where the ball is never in the hitting area where you can swing at it, but it ends up as a strike in the back corner of the plate.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch to Jeter.
Big curveball, and he's had really good control of that. Good fastball in. Fastball again. Kind of changes the tilt on that curveball. Big old curve. I'll tell you what. He missed on some pitches.
You know what? If you see where the home plate umpire is setting up, he's really geared for maybe not really seeing the ball on the outside part of the plate. And so far, Sam Holbrook, I thought a couple of those pitches inside looked really close.
Right.
And because of where his head is over the catcher's left shoulder, they kind of are peeking away and maybe not getting the right clear view of it.
And that's why a lot of people think that when the umpires wore the balloon chest protector, that they could stand right over the catcher. But because they don't have that balloon, they set themselves up on one shoulder. It's hard to see the other corner. Now, is he going to get a good look at the outside corner where he's set up right now?
Well, the American League used to have the balloon chest protector. They were right over the catcher's head, so they were more center, but they were more inclined to call the high pitch because their height, their eyesight was higher. That was the difference between American League and National.
Line drive, right center field. That is a base hit. It gets past Cusk, and it goes to the wall. Jeter motors around third. Here he comes. He will score. It's a triple for Gardner. Yankees on the board. They lead 1-0.
Again, this is just something I don't understand because Gardner being a left-handed hitter, and now you see the ball is up, got a little cut right to the barrel, but left-handers have been wearing him out all year. And you got to figure out, as good as his curveball is, he shouldn't have problems with lefties, but he missed out over the plate there. Brett Gardner, great piece of hitting, drives the ball into right center. Derek Jeter does what he does best, run the bases and score runs. Right now in his mind, he's getting no help going to third. He knows he's got a chance to score.
And Dr. Jeter has seen that plenty of times. It never gets old. So Kurt Young goes out and talks with his youngster. Hopes that he doesn't get unsettled with that triple. And the Yankees are in good shape to add another run. 6th triple of the year for Gardner. And now he's at third with 1 out. Teixeira and Rodriguez coming up. The A's bring the infield in. Grounded, foul.
Al, do you see anything in his stuff or his delivery that would make lefties see the ball real well?
I think you made a point there. He had an opportunity. Most of the day here, he's been getting ahead, so he can exploit, especially lefty on lefty, as you know, with a power breaking ball. His has been that good hard curveball down the way. He just left that fastball up to Gardner. He throws across his body, which helps a pitcher to hide the ball. Across the body, meaning his right foot is closed from his pitching foot, and then therefore the ball sneak up, that ball coming up and in on Teixeira.
The only thing I can think is his fastball. You see that cut kind of into righties means everything is going to go away from lefties. His breaking ball and his fastball might not be able to get the ball into lefties, which, you know, as a left-handed hitter, you start looking away and you don't have to worry about that inside corner.
Count 2-2.
Talking about close. Watch his front right leg. This is where his back leg is, and then he'll land way close. And because of that, it'll help your breaking ball. Sometimes it doesn't enable a pitcher to be consistent with his release point, but he is so close that all of a sudden now the arm comes through. It's hard to pick up the baseball.
Now, isn't it true, Al, that they say if you throw across your body like that, you probably have a greater chance at an arm injury?
Yes, because it's much harder, Michael, to get through the baseball. Also, you're fighting yourself. If your front side is way closed, now you're going to be basically thrown toward the Yankee on deck circle and then come through it.
Hot shot right to Ellis, and that holds Gardner at third. So the A's keep the infield in, and that saves a run, and now they'll back up for Alex Rodriguez.
Well, every once in a while as a hitter, you do everything you can. You hit the ball hard, you got the infield in, chances are it's going to find a hole. Once in a while, you just got that bad aim and you hit it right at him. But I tell you what, if you go through this game, you've got two good left-handers, stuff-wise today, throwing a good baseball game.
But look at the alignment there. Perfectly aligned, Mark Ellis.
Count 1-0 to Rodriguez. Jack that one up. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, but they're not seeing it because Alex was late.
Yeah, this is just good old country hardball right by him.
Like Alex is just getting to his front side a little bit too quick, makes you pull the trigger. Instead of where you get that leg up and you can read the ball, it seems like when he does that, gives himself time to get through that inside pitch.
So Jeter worked the walk, scored on the triple by Gardner. Yankees lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the sixth. 2-1. And grounded to short. So Gonzalez recovered and did not allow that run to score, which is impressive. But the Yankees did take the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. 6 in the books. A well-pitched ball game. 1-0 Yanks. Brett Gardner got the big triple to break the scoreless tie. Let's look at it on the Coors Light freeze cam. The pitch being delivered. The point of contact, we will freeze it. And he follows through and then drives it to right center.
High up in the zone. Every hitter's like those balls that can see clearly, and that high pitch is a ball that most major leaguers will hammer.
And that's exactly what Gardner did. So Hairston leads off, and a backdoor breaking ball strike by Andy Pettit. Andy's 79th pitch of the game as we head to the 7th. The A's, a 292 team hitting-wise in July. Line drive, and over the leaping try of Alex Rodriguez and down the left field line. Cabrera plays it in the corner, and Hairston on with a leadoff double here in the 7th. He had struck out twice previously against Pettit.
See Andy Pettit with a curveball that just hung out over the plate just a little bit. Harrison got the bat head out. Didn't quite get it in.
Alfredo Aceves starting to loosen up. Joe Girardi said that Phil Yu's not available today, so Aceves will pitch these innings. Mariano is available. He's not pitched in 2 days. Nomar is 0 for 2. Grounded to short and struck out. Obviously, he wants to try to hit the ball on the right side. But as the cleanup hitter, you're just trying to drive the ball somewhere. Their job might be a little bit different than a guy lower in the order.
Now, do you go completely against a scouting report here? Say you're going to, in your scouting reports, to get him away, get him out away, then all of a sudden he's in this position where he's looking for a ball away. Do you get completely away from your scouting report?
If that is it, yes. In a 1-0 game right here, as you're describing, Nomar's trying to get a productive out or obviously a base hit somewhere, but he's going to be in some, well, 3-0 is going to be taken here, I would assume. He's going to try to get something away, which would be easier for him to do his job to hit the ball the right side. So usually you'll see a pitcher come in hard. But then, as you say, Paul, you know, the counterbalance is that there's a guy that's just fantastic, very quick hands and loves the ball inside. You may still stay with the scout report, even though you're helping him by going the other way.
With the outside corner for the second strike, count 3-2.
Well, that's the pitch these A's hitters have been complaining about all day. Now, again, you see the home plate umpire, Holbrook, is on the inside part of the plate. He's getting a peek over there, but he's not really being able to see it exactly over the plate, as Paul was talking about, because he's got an angle to
it. 3-2. And Garciaparra gets his walk. So first and second with nobody out. The first time in the game that the A's have had 2 base runners on in an inning. A 6-pitch at bat for Garciaparra.
Well, he's just trying to get ahead there. A little fastball away, then misses again, getting in a bad count, 2-0. Still off the plate. Gets this 3-0 fastball in the corner, and then this one again on the corner. Then he comes back with a little slider trying to go down in. A 3-2 pitch. See the way Nomar was tracking it, had to be closer than that for him to be able to take a pass at it.
Man, the pitch to Cust is outside. Now Molina wants to talk with Pettit.
This seems like a good matchup for Andy Pettit. He's handled Cust so far today. You know, good pitches. You think if he can make good pitches, you know, he can get an opportunity to get out of this inning. That almost looked like he was afraid to give Garciaparra too good a pitch to hit right there. You know, not afraid to pitch with a man on first and second.
Well, any game, obviously, the 2 well-pitched starts here by Gonzalez and Pettit. A mistake, you know, could be the difference between a win or a loss. Obviously, you don't have much wiggle room with the 1-0 lead.
The 1-0. 1-1. Cust struck out looking in the second and grounded back to Pettit, really at the first baseline in the 5th.
Either slider or cutter, I can't tell. You know, he's got the velocity of a slider on it, but that, you know, right at his hip, broke it over the inside part of the plate. And I believe before the bat's over, he's going to try to put him away. Got a strike on the inside, now the outside. Now he's either set up that, you know, that 2-seamer in off the plate to try to, you know, waste a pitch, or to get that big old breaking ball down and off the plate.
So now, if I'm Andy and I 2 bad hacks like that on both sliders, I'm going to the well again. Even though, you know, it may think that he's sitting on it, he has not shown Andy that he has a good look at that.
that. Tried to go with the fastball.
Got the fastball there. The only part about that, I mean, the 0-2, and you hate to waste pitches now, but you know, if he's looking fastball, give him a fastball, but get it out of the zone, out of a place where he can hit it. And that's, you know, 3 or 4 inches in off the inside part of the plate, or 6 inches off the plate. When you get in a panic mode as a hitter, especially in this situation with big runs on the base pass, you have a tendency to swing at a lot of pitches you normally wouldn't do.
So now the count is level at 2-2.
You know, Joe's thinking right along with Jose Molina and Pettit as a catcher. I'm sure you just can't get that out of your system. You know, managing, you start thinking along the line of how to set a guy up, how it's all playing out in your bat.
Inside move towards second, which Al insists works.
It does. It's a great. It has less to do with the pickoff and more to do with the secondary, the aggressive lead and a secondary lead. The difference between a bang-bang play at home if there's a hard base hit to the outfield.
The 2-2. 3-2. And again, another trip by Molina. Want to get this right.
If you knew a guy had an inside move, wouldn't you be a little more reluctant to really get out there?
No, I mean,
because you got to be mindful of.
That's your job as a you know, base runner, is to get off as far as you can. And you're right. If he shows you that, you know, it does put it in the back of your mind. But I tell you what, Custis, all of a sudden you said early in the count, he kind of 2 feeble swings at a break ball. Well, then he's taken 2 close ones. So now, you know, you've really fought your way back into this at bat. I think it's almost confusing Molina and Pettit. You know, what do I go with here? He's fouled off a good fastball, and he's also laid off a couple sliders, and you can't throw a good curveball, you know, over the plate for something for him to hit right now.
He foul tip to stay alive. Boy, Cuss does not get cheated. You see, Andy has that mouth guard, and a lot of the Yankees have taken to wearing that. Did you ever wear that out when you were pitching? No. Paul, you ever wear anything like that?
Football. High school football is the last time I had a mouth guard.
Derek wears it now, and most of the pitchers wear it. I know that Roger Clemens used to always have it in there. Three-two. Tough at bat by Cuss. Pitcher's starting to get frustrated. He's not able to get him out here.
Well, as Paul said, he's been primarily fastball slider, then you get in the thought process, should I bring my third pitch in here? And a curveball, the only reason why it's dangerous is because if it's up, it's an easy pitch to pull. And obviously here right field is not a good thing. So I think he's going to try to stay hard down the way. And you just keep making pitches, stay down the way. I mean, that's the idea. Obviously, it's not easy.
He had more trouble as a left-handed hitter covering that ball inside, especially late in the count, because you've seen so many pitches away where a good fastball in right now is real hard to handle from the left-handed hitter.
High pop-up. So Pettit wins that battle. Tagging is Hairston. Gardner with the catch. And Hairston's just going to bluff as the throw comes to third.
It's funny, if you look at that pitch, Molina's thinking exactly what you're thinking, something hard away, and Andy missed to the point where he got it in on him.
This is middle.
Yeah, he kind of reached back over, but again, as a hitter, you know, you've seen so many breaking balls, you're trying to make sure it's a strike, and you're just not in a hitter's count where you're aggressive going into the ball.
That might do it for Andy Pettit with 95 pitches, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Joe Girardi comes to the mound. Aceves is ready. Still no signal.
I think he's talking his way back in this one, and that's one of those managerial things where you go out there, you know, kind of an idea what you want, but you get a clear indication of where one of your veteran pitchers wants to be, and he wants to get out of this inning.
before that visit, Joe Girardi knows the type of answer that he's going to get. But you're right; it just reinforces what he probably already wanted to do to begin with. I personally always wanted the manager to make the call because I always lied anyway and told him I felt fine.
How you feel? Yeah, great.
Why you keep backing up third?
That's right.
And up to this inning, it's never easy to get big league hitters out, but he's got 95 pitches, and a lot of them have been stress-free, where there haven't been runners on base. He hasn't been working out of the stretch. Here's Rajay Davis. Outside 1-0. Had you ever heard of a pitcher who said, "Yeah, I'm done, get me out of here"?
Oh yeah,
Really?
Funny,
I got 5 more pitches. I got 8 more pitches, which I just never really figured out.
Hot shot up the middle and through for a base hit. Hairston rounds third. He's going to score, and the throw is off the glove of Teixeira, backed up by Molina. It's an RBI single for Davis, and the game is tied at 1.
Again, Andy Pettit's been put in a situation where he's making pressure pitches again. I think he got a little bit too much of the plate. Fought the ball back up the middle. Couldn't come up with it and snuck through. You know, he's battled all day. He's thrown a great game, but he just didn't have much time, much wiggle room as you put it out.
Frustrating for Andy as a good fielding position or pitcher right between the wickets. It's one of those, he knew he missed location. It ended up being too much on the outer half. Davis was able to get a good part of the barrel of the bat, but when it goes between your legs, you just think about, geez, if I just knocked it down.
There's Bobby Crosby, and there's a breaking ball strike. So the Yankees score in the bottom of the 6th. The A's answer back with a run in the top of the 7th. And a bunt. It is a beauty. It's a base hit. The bases are loaded. And now that will do it for Andy Pettitte.
Boy, you said it, Michael. This is beautiful. Watch it very late. Gets the barrel at, just deadens that ball. You just play catch with the baseball, as good bunters are taught to do.
Andy jogs off the mound, gets a nice hand from the crowd of over 45,000 here at the stadium. So the Yankees will go to the bullpen. A's have the bases loaded, 1 out. Is coming up next. Bob Lorenz has all the highlights and analysis from this game and a look around the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones will work the clubhouse into the WB Nation postgame. It's only on Yes. Well, Joe Girardi has to make the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. And the call to the bullpen brings in Alfredo Aceves. And the interesting thing is, For all this time, Joe Girardi and everybody else has been calling him Alfredo Aceves.
Yeah.
Now, Alfredo is comfortable enough that he has come up to the broadcasters and said, please, my name is Alfredo Aceves, not Aceves.
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 Okay.
You can practice it later, Al. Mark Ellis now against Aceves. He is 0 for 2 Ellis's against Andy Pettit. Bases loaded, 1 out. Popped up. Just what the doctor ordered. Infield fly rule was called, and Teixeira makes the catch for the second out.
Huge. What a pitch and an opportunity for the Yankees there. Clearly not what Mark Ellis tried to do. A little cutter at the very end, a cut fastball getting off the barrel of the bat. Mark Ellis, all he's trying to do there with less than 2 outs, get any kind of fly ball in the outfield deep enough. Got a good runner at third base. It wouldn't have taken much.
There's Landon Powell. Powell, a switch hitter, spins around to the left side against the righty Aceves. The 0-1. 0-2.
Just coming right at him. Aceves. See if he goes upstairs again, elevates higher than high. He's got a couple pitches here to expand.
And the 0-2. That one's looped into left field. It is a base hit. 1 run scores. Here's the throw from Cabrera. A 2nd run scores. It's a 2-run single for Landon Powell. And now the A's lead 3-1.
Well, you watch Molina here. He wants the ball up in the zone. Landon Powell swung through a high fastball, just not high enough as far as Landon Powell's concerned. Just getting it up. You got a chance of 0-2 count. Expand on 1 or 2 pitches. Fighting it off. Landon Powell was able to get it enough out to left field. Melky making a good strong throw, not in time.
I'll tell you, Al, you see 3 consecutive pitches in the same area, you know, major league hitters are going to make some sort of adjustment. I mean, if you want to go high, really go high.
Yes.
If you want to get him out there, go low and away, and then go back to that high pitch. If 3 consecutive pitches in the same zone, usually a hitter's going to do something with one of them.
Count 1-1.
And again, this is back-to-back outings where Andy Pettit has just been great, and come out of the game with an opportunity to lose the game, but I mean, he's had great stuff, pitched well. You know, just one of those days where the offense just didn't score runs early.
The 1-1. 1-2.
Al, you're going to tell me the truth here, right?
Right.
We're real tight, okay?
Okay.
Michael, you're going to be interested in this too. Now, when you're a starter and you come out, and then the bullpen comes in a game like this, I mean, sure, you're going to go into the dugout and say, nice try, or whatever, but do you really feel like, how can you do that?
No, never.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
That's an easy one. You know why? Because you know this. It's not easy. And you know, I'm not great. I make mistakes. I have bad games. You hope for, obviously, the guy's coming in, you got bases loaded, and you know, if he's able to get out of it, boy, you know, thanks a lot kind of thing. But you get in your own little thing of, you know, this is my job, and you know, I'm here to get outs and get through innings, hopefully complete a game.
That's me, Paul.
I was just going to say, Michael, you're over there just ripping the guy.
I'd be hating on him so
you
much.
wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, those are my runs you just gave
You know
up.
what?
You're taking food out of my kid's mouth. That's what I would
Guess
say.
what? I guarantee that there's been many, many instances, if you've ever been a starter, that a reliever's helped you out.
Listen, you're a good guy. I'm obviously not. I would think. I can't believe you just gave up those runs.
But again, I mean, the next 4 or 5 times you're in this situation, you probably come through. And so, you know.
The 2-2. Grounded foul.
Well, especially after the first pitch, he comes in at the service and gets the pop-up, the infield pop-up. Now it's great. You got it all lined up, 2 outs.
And 0-2.
And then an 0-2 count. So, that, that was the mistake. And he just didn't get to a spot. You mentioned, Paul, 2 fastballs in a row, blew it by him. But higher than high. Now, higher than high, you may get a chance for Powell there to swing at a pitch neck high or even helmet high. That's higher than high.
The 2-2. Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Bobby Crosby's going to score. Powell moves to second. It's an RBI single for Adam Kennedy. Now it's 4-1 A's.
Again, as a left-handed hitter, you get an off-speed pitch. You drive it up the middle, especially with men in scoring position. I mean, chances are, and Kennedy's been through this many times, you can drive in guys with singles, kind of nickel and dime teams. This is on paper, the only way that, the Oakland A's can play with the Yankees right now. And the Yankees are a great team playing great baseball right now, is to, kind of get an unordinary starting. I mean, the guy is throwing a great game, and all of a sudden you get a couple hits here and there, and you throw up. Now you're in a position where, if your bullpen can hold this team down, you can beat them.
Here's Orlando Cabrera, first and second. The 9th batter to come to the plate, so the A's have batted around. There's a strike. All this inning, Oakland 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position. In fact, before this inning, they had not gotten a runner into scoring position.
Well, Andy was that dominant, really just under control, and that was the difference. Making pitches on the corner the whole day.
Driven out into right center field. That is going to be trouble. That's a base hit. It splits the outfielders and it rolls to the wall. 2 runs will score. And Cabrera with a 2-run double. And it's 6-1 Oakland.
Well, when it rains, it pours. Here, a little cutter up in the zone, enough for Orlando Cabrera to just stay with it. Cuts the right center field. Watching Adam Kennedy and these guys run through it. Easy double. This pitch was designed to go down and away. Nice approach by Orlando Cabrera. Opening this game up now. 6 runs in the inning.
You talk about Cabrera being one of the hotter hitters in the American League. I mean, he's the guy at bat after at bat. He's putting together good at bats. I mean, driving the ball, not trying to do anything other than put the ball in play. Not trying to do too much and drive it out of the park.
Here's the guy who started it all, Scott Harrison, with that double. And Joe Girardi is going to go to the bullpen. A rare shaky outing for Alfredo Aceves, and obviously he did well with the first batter. After that, it fell apart. Yankees are down 6-1. involves Landon Powell.
Well, this was the game right here. Savas elevates twice in a row. Now, look at Molina, wants the ball up. It was out over the plate, not in enough, and wasn't high enough. That ended up being the difference of this outpour of 6 runs in the 7th inning. That was the Land Rover drive of the game.
So Girardi sees Aceves actually struggle for the first time in a while, so he'll bring in David Robertson. Now, you might look ahead if you're a Yankee fan. Well, what's the deal with the A's bullpen? What are we looking at? Well, the A's bullpen has a 3.85 ERA overall. That's 5th lowest in the American League. But they don't do as well on the road. Their bullpen 2.97 in Oakland, but 4.69 on the road. So obviously the bullpen's going to play a role, as the Yankees still have 3 more innings to try to make up the 6-1 deficit. So David Robertson is going to deal to Scott Harrison. Cabrera's at second with 2 outs. And there's a strike.
Local kid, Michael, their closer, Andrew Bailey, took over for Brad Ziegler. Joey Devine, who's been hurt, has been solid. All-star.
And they've got arms that can strike out. 306 strikeouts for the season, and that leads Major League bullpens for strikeouts. But they haven't had that many save opportunities because they don't win. Just 27 save opportunities, tied with Toronto for the fewest in the majors.
Well, we're going to see Michael Wirtz, assuming that this game doesn't get too lopsided. He's been lights out. Another guy that talked about getting traded possibly.
Yeah, he's the pitcher in the bullpen that keeps coming up with organizations. Boy, he'd be a great setup man, and just, you know, somebody that can come in and strike out people and kind of shut the door. And that's when you get down the road into really big games, September games and playoff games. That's a big window in big games. Is, you know, that 6th to the 9th. Most good teams have good closers, but you've got to be able to get to them.
Strike 3. Hairston down looking as Robertson gets out of further trouble. But the A's take the lead. They score 6 runs on 6 hits, and they leave 1. The end of 6 1/2. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees are trailing 6-1, but we stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
As we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
To the
Have a little bit of a deficit to try to make up as they trail 6-1. How about this, Paul, huh? Did you set that up?
Look at this. Who do you think the founding member is?
That's not me.
All 4 of them are sitting there today. You see that?
That is hard to believe. The interlocking NY serves as the Ys.
Nice.
Good picture of me, too.
I was just going to say, that's one of your better photos up there. Look at that.
Oh. Al, you like that?
Wow, that's an old picture, Mike.
No, it's not that old.
That's out of the Fordham alumni.
Ryan Sweeney's in right field. It's not that old. Here's Nick Swisher. And he shows bunt and takes a strike. Where is that sign? Is that in the bleachers? Upper deck left field.
But just think, Michael, when you were 8 to 10 years old, coming to the day games, sneaking in the bleachers, did you ever think they'd be putting your picture up in Yankee Stadium?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
Really?
But I thought it would be as a Yankee first baseman, but got over that quickly.
But your staff took care of itself. You got to make the lineup in Little League before you get to the big leagues, Mike.
I made the lineup in Little League, I just wasn't good. Barcliff Getty, that was the name of the team. Dodge Neck Little League. The 1-2. 2-2. Oh, of course I didn't think they'd have my name up. Thought my name would end up in post offices one day. I mean, you could say that about anything. I mean, even when you were like a Little League stud and dancing to Mandy and everything, you didn't think they would change your name in Yankee Stadium.
I was only dreaming, you know.
When did you think you'd be a big leaguer?
Well, I mean, I always dreamed of it from like 5 all the way through Little League and everything, but I don't think until you're...
Ground ball, nice play by Kennedy. One away.
I don't think until you get into high school and then you're finally drafted that it does occur to you that, you know, you do have a chance. And that's, how about you? Same thing?
No. A little out in front of this breaking ball, looked up in the zone. Kennedy, natural second baseman, has been all over the, playing many positions as he's getting older in his career. I didn't believe it even when Champ Summers called me into Bucky Dent's office with the Columbus Clippers and said, "You're getting called to New York." I said, "For what?" He said, "You're going to the big leagues, knucklehead."
Isn't that cool?
That's how I lived my entire baseball career. I just always thought it was going to get taken away from me.
You know what's kind of weird to me, and I enjoy hearing your story because it brings back a lot of memory. And I think you had more people back in that era, in those days, that had such a reverence for the major leagues and baseball. And now you got kids that grow up that aren't just true baseball players, but great athletes, and they end up, you know, making it to the major leagues and having good careers, but they didn't dream about it since they were 3 or 4 or 5 years old. So it's kind of changed. I mean, that guy right there, he's dreaming about either playing in Yankee Stadium or being Michael Kay, you know, and
he's got a good changeup, this kid.
See?
That's great.
And the interesting thing, Al lives his life that way, fear that it's all going to be taken away. He thinks at any moment John Filippelli, our executive producer, is going to pull him out of this booth. That's how he feels.
I check my text between innings just in case, you know. Phone's going off, we get a little nervous. Audrey in the back here keeps telling me how to turn it off. I haven't figured that out yet. Figured it out.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Cano. And he swings and misses. Boy, you have to be impressed with Gio Gonzalez today. He's done some job. This is a guy who gave up 11 runs in 2 2/3 innings his last start.
And you're only as good as your next start or your next pitch, in this case with Robinson Cano. He's baffled the Yankee hitters all day.
Hey, he throws hard enough to get people out. And that breaking ball, I mean, it's been sharp all day. You'd love to watch highlights of his last start to see what he didn't have, because you know, with that breaking ball from the left side, he's going to have a place and an opportunity here.
97 pitches for Gonzalez. Pitch outside.
Well, part of his deal in his last start, now obviously he's shown the reason why he was traded for Jim Tomey and then Nick Swisher, but he had a 10-day rest from, it was a relief appearance leading up to the All-Star game to that last start in Minnesota. That's not easy for anybody, for 10 days not to pitch. And in the one appearance, you came in relief. So from July 5th to July 20th, when he got his brains beat in against Minnesota, it's 15 days.
I think long rest probably help veterans more than they do kids, because it kind of recharges you.
I never heard of anybody that loved a week rest or 2 weeks rest other than David Coney. Coney would come off after 2 weeks off and, you know, throw a 3-hit shutout.
Yeah, but just later part of his career, what Mike was saying, I agree. Those extra days, when you had an off day and they say, well, do you want to skip? Normally, the manager won't skip the 1-2 starters. You know, they'll figure out a way to make sure they stay on 5 days and mess with the 5th starter. But I always wanted that extra day. If there was an off day, give it to me.
Malcolm Cabrera wants to walk.
It's amazing how conditioned a major league starting pitcher is with that 5-day rotation.
Well, that could be it for Gio Gonzalez as Bob Guerin, the A's manager, makes his way out to the mound. And we're going to see Michael Wirtz, who Paul talked about earlier. So Cody Ransom will come up, or maybe a pinch hitter for Ransom, as Wirtz will come in. Yankees have a runner on. They're trying to make them a 5-run deficit. They're down 6-1. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning on a Saturday afternoon in the Bronx. Stay right here. Brought to you in part by Acura Advance, and by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. Well, everybody, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the three of us here on the booth for the Chevy Prior of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. And today's candidates are number 1, Brett Gardner, number 2, Gio Gonzalez, number 3, Landon Powell, number 4, Rajay Davis. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. So Michael Wirtz comes on, and Hideki Matsui will pinch hit for Cody Ransom. You see Wirtz's number, 61 strikeouts and 46 in the 3rd innings with 13 walks. So 46 base runners in 46 innings. If you have a whip under 1.1, you're doing great. His is under 1, pitches high. And a whip, for those that might not know, that's walks plus hits per innings pitched.
That's one of our newer stats in baseball, isn't it?
Certainly one that they pay attention to now. And the 1-0. 1-1.
There was an article recently done in SI, Michael Wirtz. They actually took percentages of swing and misses, and Michael Wirtz's slider, that last pitch, has the highest swing and miss percentage of any pitcher in baseball. considered the hardest pitch to hit. That one right there.
It was funny, Michael. We did that game in Florida, and we had, I don't know who was pitching, but he hadn't had a swing and a miss for like a game and a half or something. I mean, as a pitcher, it's weird how some guys just promote contact and some guys can miss the bat.
It wasn't Josh Johnson, was it?
No, he threw good. But I think it was the second game in there.
I'll tell you. Sean West, Josh Johnson, and Chris Volstead.
I think it was Volstead.
Volstead's got better stuff than that. That's a big indicator as to the guy's stuff. There's no doubt about it. To get a major league hitter to swing and miss, you have to have something on the ball or something that dips out of the zone.
2-2 to Matsui inside. 3-2. So that's going to release Cabrera at first. 3-2 with 2 outs. Bobby Crosby is going to play behind Melky. Yankees have had a lot of late inning magic this year, especially here at this ballpark. And the A's bullpen will try to stop them. 6-1 the A's lead. Runner goes. 3-2. High fly ball, right field. Ryan Sweeney's coming for defense. He puts it away for the final out of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 8th inning, and the A's are up 6-1. Well, not anymore, now that Yankee fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer who watches Yes, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. Well, Derek Jeter will take over at shortstop, so that means that the Yankees will lose their DH. So by losing their DH, that means that the pitcher, David Robertson, is going to bat in the number 8 hole in the Yankee lineup. And Garciaparra swings at the first pitch and skies it to center field. All 3 outfielders right there, and finally Gardner made the catch.
You see Gardner got a weird break on it, like he had almost lost it. So, you know, as a right fielder and a left fielder, you look at your center fielder struggling a little bit. You got to try to hustle over there in case you got to make the play. You see Gardner went back on it like he almost lost it.
There's a strike to Sweeney. Sweeney took over in right field for Jack Cust last inning, so this is his first at bat. Cust was 0 for 3 while he was in there. You'll watch Robertson out there. He has good stuff. Yesterday he pitched for the first time since the All-Star break and gave up 2 runs actually in the 9th inning. But he looks a lot sharper today in the count 1-2.
And that was the case there, Michael. 13 days was the amount of time that lapsed, and that's not good for any pitcher, especially a reliever who needs to really get out there. For as much as these guys that are in that position in the bullpen to simulate on the side, it's just not the same. You got to get out there. And for what's been going on as far as the Yankees win streak and also tight ball games, this is the role that David Robertson is in right now, and it's hard for Joe Girardi to find a spot to get him in the game.
Bill Hughes.
You know what? That was a pretty cool shot because it looks like a throwaway shot, but they're talking pitching out there.
That's right.
I mean, they're not talking about where they're going to dinner. They're talking about set positions and things like that. And I think that brings a team closer.
Well, you know why? Because somebody's holding court out there. That's probably one of the better closers that's ever played the game, in Mariano Rivera.
Nice play by Gardner. Take a base hit away from Sweeney.
And the toughest play for an outfielder is that line drive right at you, kind of sinking, especially as a center fielder, because you know if you miss it 408 feet away, you've got to go find it. Good play.
That'll bring up Rajai Davis. I would think if Mariano Rivera wants to talk pitching, people will listen.
Yeah, and it's he's so good about it because it's not like, do as I do, but just, this is what I've been through, this is what I think about it. It's just, it makes sense when
I know you said that pitchers were weird yesterday, and I know it was in jest, but if there's ever a unit within a team, the bullpen have each other's back. It's kind of a lonely place. You're out there farthest from the dugout. These guys have a lot to think during the game. It's a nervous kind of energy leading up to when the phone rings. Is it me? Is it, you kind of play out, manager, pitching coach, who's going to get the call, it depending on the score. And you talk about close knit. This is 3-4 hours or 3 hours sitting out there of just shooting the breeze and getting to know each other. I know my longtime friend John Franco, longtime closer with the Reds and the Mets, your buddy.
Well, Gardner gets another try. Coming on, diving, and he makes the play. Putting together his own highlight reel and tying a record held by many with 3 putouts in 1 inning the last 2. Pretty nice plays by Brett Gardner as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Call Yankee Steiner Collectibles at 800-759-SCORE. There are many unique items which are the perfect addition to any Yankee fan's collection. Contact Yankee Steiner Collectibles today at 800-759-SCORE or visit steinersports.com. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Al, did you grab something from Shea? I mean, you got some memories of
Dirt.
Shea.
The closing of the stadium. I took some dirt from the pitcher's mound. Yeah.
Jorge Posada will pinch it for Jose Molina.
You, the old Yankee?
I mean, just some knick-knack stuff mentally, not, anything. I didn't take a locker or a chair or anything like that.
The bat's still available, is it?
The big bat.
I think Al would have liked to drag some people out of Shea Stadium before it closed, especially the way things ended, but we'll leave it at that. The 0-1. Now listen, Al, you telling a story about John Franco.
John Franco. I know you play with him with the Reds, but we would kid around with other relievers, and they would come to their aid and protect each other, if you will, and it was all in fun, but don't mess with the relievers kind of thing. And each unit, that's a good thing. There's a bond there. They used to gang up on you if you were messing with any of his relievers.
Mark Melanson beginning to throw for the Yanks. And a pinch hit single for Jorge Posada. You almost wonder, Paul, he's such a good hitter, and he has the rigors of catching. How good of an offensive player he would have been in another position.
Well, and it has to do with the switch hitting ability, too. I mean, he's so good from both sides of the plate. He adds so much balance wherever you put him in the lineup. And I'm sure catching throughout the year, it does. It just, physically beats you up.
And I think last night was a good example when it was a leadoff double, and he gave himself up a little changeup away, and his approach has changed too as he's gotten older. And I think it's made him a better hitter.
I mean, you always hear about Derek Jeter, and you should, because he's been a cornerstone here in New York. But there's some guys in that locker room that, especially young players, truly respect, and Jorge being one of them. I mean, he's a big part of what goes on inside the locker room. And once you take the field, I mean, some of the bigger names obviously come to the forefront. But Jorge Posada's a big part of the leadership of this team.
Jeter 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Count 1-1. Blue Jays lead the Rays 9-5, top of the 8th inning in a game of interest to Yankee fans. That one's driven out to right field. Deep. Going back Sweeney on the track at the wall. He leaps. See ya! A 2-run home run for Derek Jeter. And the Yankees are climbing back in. The A's lead 6-3.
Derek Jeter's 11th home run of the year. You see that by a fastball away. I mean, if Derek Jeter wants a picture-perfect pitch, that's it. The ball away that he can handle, especially in this new ballpark, he could reach the seats there. And it just goes to show you, you're down 6-1, but a lot of things can still happen in a couple innings. You keep swinging the bats, and before you know it, you're right back in the ball game. Then you get to watch your dad cheer on, yes, high def.
And your mom handed out high fives. Here's Brett Gardner. Swinging a miss. Gardner had a big hit in the 6th inning, scoreless game, and he tripled in Jeter. So now it's 6-3 as that one gets the crowd back into it. 46,412 here at the stadium. Count 0-2. Now for a team that's been losing like the A's and a team that's been winning like the Yankees, a hit like that all of a sudden makes the A's start to look over their shoulder just a bit. It makes the Yankees think, hey, we've done this before. So really a shift in emotions here for these two teams. The 0-2, and he strikes out Gardner on a pitch up and in, one away.
Yeah, you almost feel like if you're an Oakland A's fan that you hope the Yankees run out of time today. And See, he does what he works. He does what he does best, and that's strike out hitters. But you know, if this is the first inning, you're down 3 runs as a Yankee, you're pretty sure you're going to come back and win this game. But all of a sudden, you know, you start running out of outs, and you start running out of time. And Oakland, well, you know, you've talked about it. Their bullpen's pretty strong.
Well, especially this Michael Wirtz has been their go-to guy leading up to Andrew Bailey. So as it gets closer, you got Russ Springer down there that could get a couple outs leading up to their closer. Definitely becomes more nerve-wracking if you're Bob Guerin in the A's.
Now, Jeter's home run is 11th of the year, and that equals his total from all of last season. Could not hold the swing up. You know, you look at this ballpark and the way it plays, and balls go out to right center field. Derek Jeter, because of this ballpark, is now a 20 home run guy, maybe a 23 home run guy.
That's a leadoff hit.
Yeah, because that's his natural swing. That's where he takes the ball. That one's drilled deep to right. See ya! Deep into the second deck in right field. A home run for Teixeira, and the A's now lead 6-4. 25th home run for Teixeira.
Well, he's wearing out this second deck here at the stadium. The first night he hit a 3-0 fastball. This one wasn't quite as far. It gets through the baseball. Pitch up in the zone. Forget about it. I don't care what stadium that's in. That's long gone.
Kind of hesitated there, Michael. The only question on that ball was it fair or foul? I mean, that's the thing about a true power hitter. I mean, you can tell off the bat that ball is gone.
Now, Kurt Young wants to talk with Wirtz, and they're starting to throw in a hurry out in the A's bullpen. So Wirtz came on to get the final out of the 7th, but then a single by Posada, pinch hit single, a 2-run home run by Jeter, strikeout of Gardner, and then Teixeira's home run. Now Teixeira has 25 home runs, and he has had 25 or more home runs in his first 7 years in the big leagues. Andrew Bailey, the closer, getting ready. All-star closer. Here's A-Rod. There's a strike. Alex is 0 for 3.
Come A-Rod right now. The fastballs have been hit, and the sliders is pitched. He's going to stay sliders here.
Ground ball to Kennedy. And they're 2 away.
You know, I think you're right. I mean, you come in as a guy that's had success all year, and, you know, you got a 6-1 lead when you come in. You're pretty comfortable. All of a sudden, you know, a couple of your fastballs get hit in the terrace out there, and all of a sudden, I better get back to what, you know, made me special this year, and that's a slider.
I think of Larry Anderson years ago. He's a broadcaster with the Phillies. A slider. Turk Wendell, a guy I pitched with, every pitch slider. And they said, look, that's my pitch. I know they're looking for it. That's my bread and butter.
There's Nick Swisher, who is 0 for 3 today. Fly ball to right, fly ball to left, ground ball to third. And Wirtz deals a strike. Now, Teixeira has 25 home runs. That leads the American League right now. He's a switcher. Last season, Nick Swisher led All-American League switch hitters with 24 home runs. Remember, Teixeira spent part of last season with Atlanta before being traded to California or Los Angeles. And the 0-2 popped up left side. Long run. Cabrera. And the left fielder, Hairston, can't make the play. It's a double for Nick Swisher. That was kind of in no man's land. I don't know if you could have placed it any better. Kennedy couldn't get there, Cabrera couldn't get there, and neither could Hairston.
Well, Harrison's really the only guy that's got an opportunity at this play, but I think he's battling some sun too, just kind of not knowing where you are in a ballpark, and you kind of lose the ball for an instance. All of a sudden, ball hits grass. You see his route, he just doesn't know how to get there.
Well, Bob Guerin's seen enough. He's watching this game slip away, and he's going to call on his all-star closer, Andrew Bailey, to try to get this done. He's going to have to get 4 outs to close out this game. Robinson Cano will come to the plate as the tying run. Wirtz departs, coming on Bailey. Bailey against Cano. Game on the line next. Close out the series against the A's right here in the Bronx. Coverage starts at noon. Batting practice today in the Tri-State Ford pregame. It's the A's and the Yankees tomorrow at noon, only on Yes. A's All-Star Andrew Bailey comes on. And Bob Guerin said enough is enough. He wants to stem the tide right now, trying to stop the Yankees, who are charging back. You see Bailey's numbers are outstanding. 66 strikeouts, and that's second in the big leagues amongst relievers behind the Dodgers' Jonathan Broxton. 10 saves. There's not that many games to save for the A's. But Andrew has been charged with the loss of each of his last 2 outings on July 19th and the 21st, allowing a run in the 10th inning in both appearances. Mariano's starting to stretch. Can the Yankees tie this game? Robinson Cano is the tying run here with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Yankees have 3 on the board already in the 8th. And a big healthy cut. Andrew Bailey's pitch is the cutter.
From Wagner College over in Staten Island. Actually from South Jersey.
That one's driven deep to right field, but not deep enough. Sweeney is there, and he makes the play on the lip of the warning track for the final out of the inning. Almost a game-tying home run, but there were 2 home runs as the Yankees creep back. Derek Jeter with a 2-run shot, and then Mark Teixeira goes yard right down the line. We got a ball game. We head to the 9th, 6-4 A's. game brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Well, we just saw it in this last inning. Derek Jeter going right field, making his 11th home run, and then this one was just a matter of staying fair. Way back in the second deck, the 25th home run. Mark Teixeira leading the American League with that 25 home runs. The Geico plays of the game.
Jeter's at shortstop, started the game as a DH. New pitcher for the Yankees, Brian Bruni, throwing to a new catcher, Jorge Posada. And the first pitch to Bobby Crosby is a strike. He could not hold up, said the first base umpire Dan Iasonia. You see Bruni's numbers. Last time out against the Orioles, 2 outs in the 9th inning, 2 strikeouts. He gives up home runs to Adam Jones and Nick Markakis. And the Yankees had to take him out and bring in Rivera to get the final out.
I know Joe Girardi was talking about how even though the results weren't what he wanted, those are these cutters that some of these Yankee relievers have been throwing. That ball, 2 cutters in a row. Crosby couldn't catch up to it. Watch this ball, late movement, cut away from the right-hander. Nice pitch.
You know, we showed the guys talking. Maybe there's cutter school out there by Rivera. I know he helped Tanyan Sturtz with that.
Vizcaíno.
Bunted foul. Alan, you were out there at the end of your career the last season. Did you annoy people in the bullpen?
Just Neil Allen.
That was it?
Yeah.
And he was you know, almost a contemporary, but he was a coach.
Yeah.
You talk to Mo at all?
Yeah. No, well, obviously the old stadium, but it's good. You got a lot of spots to. Actually, this looks a little cozier because everybody's together.
Pitch is high, 1-1.
Good little spot there.
You know, the only thing that's weird about that is it's enclosed. And so I don't know if you get the true sound. You ever come out of the locker room for like a World Series game and it's kind of quiet and all of a sudden, bam, it's just everything explodes. And it's kind of like you want to come into it gradually. You know, instead of hearing the big crowd noise right before you go in, you kind of want to be, you know, you don't want to have it a shock to your system or something. With me there, Michael?
I think so. Who needs a shock to the system?
Every once in a while we need it.
And Mark Ellis goes down on strikes. I'm still trying to figure out what a mental knick-knack is.
Oh, now come on. I just got asked back here,
what
too.
Is
That's
that?
just kind of like not having the right words to say. Just kind of memories that you keep, little trinkets, but they're you can't hold them, you know. They're kind of in your mind.
Okay, so that you took memories away. You didn't take
A lot
a
of,
souvenir.
but you know, I was trying to go a little above that and give you something to worry about.
I got some mental knickknacks.
I bet you do.
Here's Landon Powell, who really struck the big blow in the game against Alfredo Aceves with 2 strikes. Tried to go up in the zone and didn't go high enough. And that kind of set everything off in the 7th inning when the A's scored 6 runs there. He gets a 2-out single against Bruni. You know, straightening Bruni out could be very important for the Yankees, and there are several reasons why. A valuable pitcher, but you know, we talked about the back end of the Yankee rotation. Is Java going to have to be taken out of the rotation because of an innings limitation? You don't know what you have with Sergio Mitre. Well, the Yankees don't have many in-house candidates to be starters that they feel comfortable going to, but Aceves is one of them, and Hughes is another. And if you're going to take somebody out of the bullpen, somebody has to fill that role. Could be Brian Bruni if you decide to go that route.
I can't imagine Phil Hughes being taken out of that role.
I think it would be Aceves if they went that route.
It's a matter of just the idea of trying to get his pitch count back to where it needs to be to go 6 innings.
The only negative about keeping Phil Hughes in the bullpen, and it's a future negative, not for this year, he's never going to reach the innings that they want him to pitch this year, and they still look at him as a starter. So if he's a starter, he becomes a 150-inning starter like Java is this year, next year, because they wanted to get him to 150 this year, and then next year he'd be a full-fledged 2-inning guy. But he's not going to reach that number if he continues to pitch out of the bullpen. Hot shot, foul. But right now the most important thing is winning the pennant, getting into the postseason, and Phil Hughes pitching the 8th inning looks like the best thing for that.
So if this was a postseason game and you were going to have a pitching change, you need a right-hander, because obviously if you needed a left-hander, Cope's shown that he can do that. And if Bruni's healthy, Hughes is healthy, who's your 8th inning guy?
If Hughes is pitching what he's pitching, it's got to be Phil Hughes. And the funny thing, Java could be back out in the bullpen for the postseason. The 1-2.
But in addition to all that, let's just say that this all stays the way it is. It's very healthy for all of the arms down there that Joe Girardi doesn't have to always go to the one guy, the go-to guy. That's how you burn a guy. If you have confidence, as Joe Girardi has confidence in Bruni, and he's back to how he was before he got hurt, and you got Hughes, you could distribute it. And you don't fall off any. You know, if you think about the Yankee heydays, I mean, Joe Torre had 2-3 guys that he felt comfortable with before you got to Mariano.
And the best setup that they had was Nelson and Stanton. I mean, you felt comfortable going with either one. And then Ramiro Mendoza when the other guy was tired. One of those. Hot shot to second base. Gobbled up by Cano. And that'll do it for the A's in the 9th inning against Bruni. A scoreless 9th, no runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left. Last licks coming up for the Yankees. Do they have a rally in their bones? We'll see. It's time to announce the Chevy Player of the Game is voted on by you, the fans, and the 3 of us here in the booth.
Well, Gio Gonzalez, I mean, he had an unbelievable appearance. He came in a high ERA, but you see breaking ball, fastball, pretty much shut down the Yankee offense all day. Six innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, only gave up a couple hits, 1 earned run. Probably the highlight of his year to this point as far as starts.
Well, I guess the question you have to ask the Yankees as they come up for last licks is who wants pie? Is there a pie guy out there? Because if they win this one, it's going to be a walk-off.
Who wants pie?
Who wants pie?
My eyes lit up, you know.
Johnny Damon is on deck. He will pinch hit for the pitcher, Brian Bruni. And there's the pie man as Andrew Bailey deals high to Melky Cabrera. It's 2-0. Yankees need a base runner. You get a base runner on, then you got your shot out of ballpark that yields home runs to tie the game. Count 3-1. So can the A's all-star closer hold off the Yankees? 3-1 to Melky, and he walked it. So that is going to bring the tying run to the plate and the person of pinch hitter, Johnny Damon.
Well, if you're Bob Guerin, it's the last thing you want to do is see the leadoff hitter walk, but close pitches, didn't get the call.
who did not start today, comes off the bench to pinch hit. He has zeroed in on Damon Deck out there on right several times this year. And the pitch is high. Johnny has 16 home runs. Yankees have 31 come from behind wins, and 9 of them walk-off wins. Fouled that one back.
Pitch to hit, you see that? Had a lot of the plate, kind of belt high, but you know, Bailey's a guy who's had success. He's going to challenge hitters, go after people. But that's a fastball right down the middle.
Well, he's got behind, he's elevating, but Sam Holbrook in the last at bat, a couple close pitches. Bailey's got to pound the zone.
Check swing, did he go? No, he did not, said Larry Vanel. So you know Andrew Bailey has a lot of family and friends here. As Al mentioned, grew up in Jersey, went to college in Staten Island at Wagner. And he's facing the New York Yankees, who have won 8 in a row. The 2-1. Now 2-2.
You know you have a pretty good fastball. How when you get in a fastball count late in the game, you know guys are thinking home run and they end up fouling it over the dugout the other way.
That was 95 miles an hour from Bailey. And the count is full at 3-2. Jorge Posada on deck. Do the Yankees send Melky to try to stay out of the double play? Probably not. They don't. And now the tying runs on base. And Kurt Young to try to settle down his young right-hander. The whole thing about coming back as often as the Yankees have come back, and Paul, you could talk about this, is that they know that they could come back. And if you believe that you can come back because you know you've done it, it makes it not easier to come back, but more likely.
Right, and you get in this situation and it just ball forward to the first guy, you start thinking in your mind, here we go again. And it is. It's just it's a confidence, and when you've done it before and you've done it recently like they have, and you're used to winning close games, all of a sudden you believe that something weird's going to happen and you're going to come back and win again.
Yeah, there's nothing desperate about it. As a result of having experienced it, they're comfortable. And it's not a situation they want to be in, but they feel as though, yeah, we can do this.
So here's Posada, pinch hit in the 8th inning and single to left. Popped up, left side, and out of play. The Yankees want to keep this winning streak alive. They've won every game since the All-Star break, 8 in a row. They were down 6-1 in the 7th inning stretch. 3 runs in the 8th. It's 6-4 now. And first and second, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 0-1. Weak hack on that. 0-2, and Jorge trips over the mask of Landon Powell.
Wow, you talked about Bailey, and one of his strengths is this cut fastball or this slider he threw here. And he hasn't been able to get that cutter over to lefties, so he's had to rely on his fastball, and those are good pitches to hit.
And that was the first curveball he threw. The left-handers, especially Damon's at bat, he was identifying that slider. Good takes.
The 0-2. This could be a double play. There's one. On to first. A double play as Melky moves over to third, so that takes a lot of starch out of the bottom of the 9th inning. But the Yankees have Jeter coming up as the tying run.
It looks like he got that cutter or fastball in on his hands, tied Georgie up a little bit. Big sigh of relief if you're Bob Guerin, thinking that, well, maybe you can close this thing out now.
Well, Jeter started the comeback with the 2-run home run over the wall and right center. He has 11 home runs, matching last year's total. He's 1 for 3 today. Does he have another home run in him? If he gets a single, well, Gardner awaits on deck. Yankees 0 for 4 today with runners in scoring position. Bailey sets. And there's a strike.
of a sudden he's starting to harness that cutter for a strike, and you know, he's a different pitcher, and he can throw that in his fastball.
And the count 1-1. Melky is at third, 2 men out. Yankees down by 2. The leadoff batter, Derek Jeter, at the plate.
You got to believe it. Derek Jeter hit a home run last time with a ball away from him, a fastball away, and you're probably not going to see that this bad. You've seen a cutter, you've seen a curveball. Got to believe a fastball is going to be in if he gets it. Cutter there.
High fly ball, center field. Rajay Davis is there in right center, and he'll put it away for the final out of the game as the Yankee rally comes up short, and their 8-game winning streak is over. In the 9th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Andrew Bailey does the job. He nails down the save to get the final 4 outs. And the Yankees, down 6-1, made a run at it, but couldn't complete the run as their 8-game winning streak is snapped, and they lose the first game on this 10-game home